I grew up in Baghdad, went to university here. Since the war started in 2003, I keep coming back to report on my country for the Guardian newspaper in London. It's the ordinary Iraqis who interest me. Their faces, their lives tell the story of how Baghdad has been affected by war. America will withdraw from Baghdad in 2010. But what has been left behind? How deep is the scar left on Iraqi hearts and minds? Baghdad is now a traumatized city, a cantonized, divided city. Sunnis against Shia. It has become a desperate city of walls.
My high school used to be down there, and it was so easy for us to go from our high school and cross the bridge. This was a main highway in Baghdad. Now it's separating Sunnis from Shia. To the right, we see it's a Shia neighborhood, Qahira, surrounded by blast walls. To the left, it's a Sunni neighborhood, also surrounded by blast walls.
We are about to go into the Sunni district of Adhamiyya now. But first, that means a checkpoint.
It's better to get the camera down. We're having a checkpoint now. There are only 2 points of entry to that area, one through the north and one through the south. Get the camera down. It's very dangerous to get the camera out. Even if we have press cards, if they see us with a camera, we'll be in big trouble.
This is an Iraqi army checkpoint. They're all over Baghdad. Waiting at these checkpoints is a tense business. So often, these are the places where suicide bombers attack. I always feel on edge. After what feels like an age, we get through. Welcome to Adhamiyya. What was once a pretty affluent suburb of northeastern Baghdad is now a fortified Sunni enclave. It shocks me. Everywhere I go in Adhamiyya, even as an Iraqi, I now have to be accompanied by this man. He's a leader of the Awakening Council or Sahwa here. They call themselves the Adhamiyya Revolutionaries. These Sunni militiamen are the reason why people say the killing has stopped. They're former insurgents who became America's allies. They fought Al-Qaeda on their behalf. These are the men who decide who comes in and out of Adhamiyya now.
والله احنا العلم ما نغير عليه، الحكومه تتسوي علمنا هو شنو؟ يعني هسه انا ذاك اليوم شفته لان هسه هو يعني شو يردون يغيرون منه؟ بس فتش السياره مو عاد شيء بس فتشها للسياره والله محمد عليها.
ماكو مشكلة
بس الغريب يعني بس تشوفه غريب تتفتش السيارة مالته.
He was just telling me that the car that was passing over there had 4 guys. One of them had a Shia ID card, and still there was no problem for them to pass into the area.
While I was at the checkpoint, this little old lady came up to me suddenly. She told me she was homeless. Kadhimiyya is now an exclusively Shia area of Baghdad. It's just across the bridge. I can tell by the names on the paper that she's a Sunni, the wrong kind of a Muslim in Kadhimiyya now. And so she begs the streets here. She's one of the thousands of new homeless in Baghdad, displaced because of the civil war.
جروني من جوي علي شريت بالفندق نازله فندق الزهراء جوي على يدي يعملون تحري على الزهراء قال لي انت من الموصل انت سعد زكي صبري العبيدي قلت له نعم القتلى بالحريه قلت له نعم قال لي باكر بتبقي واذا بقيت لي قلت خلاص مصاريف بالشهر ولا عندي معيشة ولا أبد. أنا قدي بالشهر.
وهي صار لي 6 اشهر معك.
6 اشهر هذه بالشارع مشرد. هذا شوفني قدامك.
السلام عليكم يا علي.
أنت وغيرك يرحمني.
Scratch the surface and you see how abnormal the situation is. There is no such thing as a Baghdadi anymore. You're either a Sunni or a Shia. People are living in what are effectively ethnically cleansed neighborhoods. Feelings of freedom and safety have been limited to a few hundred square meters inside the wall.
بس انت تقدر تطلع؟
اكيد احنا ما نقدر، احنا مهددين من قبل ميليشيات، غير الميليشيات، العصابات، حتى للقاعده.
يعني حدك وين انت؟
حدنا احنا الساحه عنتر. وراها ما نقدر احنا.
يعني كانه انت محاصر عايش بحاله.
اكيد سجن، احنا بسجن ومو هسه هذا السجن. اكيد هاي المقبره لو تروح لها هسه تلقى بها 2870 شهيد على ايد الميليشيات وعلى ايد العصابات.
وهاي المقبرة قبل 2006 ما كانت؟
أكيد هاي كانت مو موجودة. كانت موجودة هاي بال 2005 صارت هاي المقبرة.
شهيد مال؟
Everyone who has lost their life in Iraq is called a shaheed. The word means martyr in Arabic. We use the term to show respect to the dead, not because these martyrs are suicide bombers. Most often, they are ordinary Iraqis. Like this man, Ghazi Faisal Sultan al-Baghdadi. I'm told he was a street vendor, selling baklava sweet pastries, which we Iraqis love so much. A car bomb exploded in the market, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just one more shaheed to join the thousands of others. I go to Al-Damia's new cemetery by the waters of the Tigris. It overwhelms me. This piece of land used to be a children's playground. But the people couldn't reach the enormous cemetery because of the violence, so they had to improvise. Nearly 3,000 people have been buried here since the cemetery was created in 2005. There is still no definitive figure on how many Iraqis have died since America invaded in 2003. Even conservative estimates put the figure at 90,000. And while much is made of the fact that the scale of death and killing has diminished in the past 2 years, the human grief has not. This woman's son was murdered by Shia militia on the 25th of June 2006.
اسمه شنو؟
اسمه نشوان أفين.
وشون جوي عليه يعني نقطة تفتيش لو شون؟
كانوا واقفين يمه يغاد مسلحين يعني الشرطة كانوا واقفين يمه.
نعم.
وضربوه 7 رصاصات كلها براسه وبإيديه وبصدره ورأسا استشهد راح.
وين
ليش سوى لباق لا اشتركوا ويا ذول الحواسم ولد بريء ليش هيجي حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل حسبي الله حسبي الله.
Like Nashwani Veen, most of the dead here were killed because they were Sunni Muslims. Killed in their shops, outside their houses, on their way to work or coming home from work. Killed because of their names or their family names. And some of them were killed by Al-Qaeda car bombs in Azamiyah. Baghdad is a city full of grief. As the sun starts to set, I notice an elderly man, almost the last person in the cemetery, sitting by the grave of his son, Umar. He died on September the 25th, 2006. He tells me the story of how he died. Betrayed by his best friend Ali, a Shia who lived in the Shia district of Qahira.
وداه للقاهرة باعه بالقاهرة. بالقاهرة قتلوه ذبوه فوق شو اسمه عندنا بالأعظمية مال تانكي. اي ورا التانكي المي ذبوه. كل شيء مسوي. 12 سنة صديقهم هو. ذاك خطية راح يطلع على أصدقائهم هم. حلاق عندهم بالقاهرة يروحون عليه على طول يروحون يجون. جزموه ذاك قصه وذانه وخشمه ذبوه فوق ابني. نمير طه. وهذا عمر ابن هذا ما.
Mr. Abbas tells me he knows the names of his son's killers, but he has no hope of bringing them to justice. The story of Umar and Ali sums up everything that has gone wrong in Iraq. When I was a kid in school, I had no idea who was a Shia and who was a Sunni. If childhood friends are now betraying each other, the emotional scars of this civil war will take years to heal. It was time to see the wall itself, the wall that separates Azamiyah from Qahira, the wall that explains why Ali betrayed Umar.